G'day, legends. James Greenges from Emergent Leaders Foundation, coming to you for what appears to be episode 3 of Cheese in the Shed. We won't go there. But one of the things I want to talk about today is, at the moment, we're lacking in our leadership any long-term planning. The short-term is either more sexy, or it gets more votes, or it gets more, let's put it this way, attention that allows them to perceive that they're doing their role. Now, I've mentioned in a previous couple of episodes that if we want a future as a nation, as in the Western world, whatever, under this supposed democratic regime that we have, although my mother did turn to me very interestingly and says, we don't live in a democracy, we live in a dictatorship. And that was a fascinating point from a very conservative individual. I'm not going to go there today, but or did I? But the point is that we keep looking to governments to set our future instead of realising it's we who set our future and then ask governments to assist us actually create that. We've forgotten what government's actually meant to do. They've forgotten it as well. They've bought into a whole go extreme, which is actually, it's their career model thing. And then it's not just governments though. You look at what has happened with the contractual model of senior positions in large-scale bureaucracies, everything from defence right through police, emergency services, corporate world, etc. They're on tenure. And that tenure means, under the contract, that they have to achieve these certain things. So they go in hammer and tong to achieve their decisive results, their KPIs have been met, etc. One of the big issues that we face, though, is they do it at the expense of the future. They allow themselves to exhaust the now, believing that the future will look after itself. Now, psychologically, if you look at the mind in the Western world, it's actually started to speed up. Now, there are many different factors involved in this. I won't go into it too much, but it's not just human. It's also a lot to do with energy of this space. I won't go there today, but just understand that the point is the mind is sped up. That can and does, and you look at the streets today, there's so many people going at 1,000 miles an hour, they're not present. Car accidents, why do they occur? Because the person's not in the car. Arguments when people bump into each other, why does it occur? Because the person's not walking down the street. Matter of fact, someone said to me one day, they asked me, they said, "Geez, how do I stop getting into arguments?" I said, wrong question. My question would be, why do I get into the argument in the first place? But to understand that question, I have to have first stopped and actually appraised the situation. Now, because our minds are thinking at such a rapid rate, we're currently in like the chaos right now, and we can't decipher it. You can only decipher chaos and stillness, because it's the only time you'll see any order or pattern from it. Now, to do this, you have to actually have a motivation. Why would you stop and understand the chaos? Because you are wanting to think long term. You are wanting to think 7 generations, as the American Indians would. Like, how does the decision I make now affect 7 generations into the future? What a truly powerful thing. There is a Zen proverb which states, "Wise is the one who plants the seed of the tree they will never sit under." We don't have people in senior leadership positions at the moment that are sitting in this philosophy. Does that matter? No. Be aware of it and go, do I want, therefore, them to be in charge of me setting my future, or do I want to stand up and actually be a change maker in my community, in my organisation, or whatever it is, and actually set a course for the future? And that's the question we have to ask. That's a self-empowering question. That's a question in which, realistically, when I was out at Horsham the other day in the Western District of, well, I'll say it's not the Western District, sorry, it's the Wimmera of Victoria, but anyway, it's Western Victoria. I was asking the question, how does the community of Horsham empower themselves, bring the power back to themselves? Now, it was not a question of any councillor in local government. It was not a question of any, police person or whatever it is specifically. It was a question directed specifically at the community, at people in the community, to make decisions which empower themselves. Let's have a look at this. We look at crime rates and we go, this is a police problem. No, it's not. It's a community problem. Stop forcing police into a situation which they have to then focus on something to get key KPIs met, to meet their metrics, and then everything else falls apart. Police, if you know anything about what police were, they were actually referred to as peace officers, not your enforcement agencies. Police have an absolutely pivotal function in which they are being pulled from pillar to post by politicians and other people that are playing their strings that don't help us as a society. Crime is a community issue and can be dealt with. There are so many examples of it being dealt with in a community issue. Then you go It's not just that. It's like, you look at defense. Defense, I'm fascinated being a person who served for 17 years, led soldiers into Iraq, almost didn't come home, but did, luckily. And I look at how defense has been used. We've forgotten the fact that it's a profession of arms, and the military has been bureaucratized and forgotten the essence of what it truly is. Why has that been happening? Because people have been making short-term decisions and forgetting what their true essence is. They've forgotten the coalface. And anyone who was in the Commander Staff College audience in 2008 when I actually called you all out on it, and you don't remember it, or I know a number of you are sitting at the top positions in defence right now, I call you back to that presentation I gave. Do you remember why you joined? Do you remember the coalface? And this is a specific message to everyone in a senior position. Why are you in that position? What are you actually wanting to achieve? Are you simply putting out spot fires, or are you setting it for the future? And in the future, it has a pivotal role for humanity. It doesn't have a pivotal role for its own self-existence. It has a pivotal role for humanity and the planet. That's what we all as leaders should be asking. So I call us all. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be a person who believes that you pick up the newspaper from the news agency and don't do much else during the day. I call you to be a change maker. Stop sitting on your ass looking at the newspaper making comments in the bloody armchair. Get off your ass and actually start getting involved with your community, starting to make changes, starting to offer constructive, positive solutions. I call you all, be that right at the top. I call you to take stock. Pause, go silent, move from the stillness, lead from the stillness. Now, if you're interested in anything I've said today, tonight I'm running a webinar at 7 p.m. for a bunch of change makers coming from all around the world. We've got Singapore, we've got New Zealand, we've got all over Australia, we've got all over the planet at the moment represented in this webinar. And we're going to talk about why some of the major impacts in society are failing. I'm going to explain through analysis as to what the key tenets are that have demonstrated a number of the key impacts that people are trying to make, why they fail. And I'm going to suggest a series of strategies moving forward. And not only that, we've got something else, which is it's beyond collaborative. It's definitely future seeing, and it's a hub of leadership in which we're basically wanting to set the tone for our future. If you're interested in that, message me directly and I'll send you a link to be on this webinar. If you can't make it tonight, message me and I will send you a recording. But you must message me. You must take action. Do you want to be part of the future? Do you want to take control of setting up the future for us and humanity? Do you want to think 7 generations in the future? Or are you simply content sitting on your ass making crisis management decisions which are attempting to cover your ass, and therefore leave everyone after you, including in all probability your children, in a world of pain? I leave that question to you. Do you have the fucking spine to stand up and set a good future? Or are you going to sit back and actually let life take over? Your call. I love you long time, but I'm calling you to action. Tonight, 7 p.m, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Big love.